This is not your normal discussion where we talk all about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion where we talk all about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Not Your Normal Discussion. I am your host, Queen Pedii.
Tryst, the man in black, wishing you a dark day of bliss.
It's your man Samurai with two eyes.
It's your bowhead boy, Kenny.
And we have a special guest, Mil Ivory from Closed Door Conversations Podcast. Yeah.
Hello. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
what's up?
You got that poetry snap popping for me.
So let's talk about our week, you guys. So this weekend, me and the babe, the editor, we went on a double date. We went to Dave and Buster's, and I mysteriously got a Dave and Buster's card that wasn't mine. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, that happened. And it was messing up my ticket game. But I had a great weekend. And then I sprained my toe. All right.
Sorry.
All right.
How did you sprain your toe?
me-
I'm curious. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Let me see.
No, I did. All I know is I got up and went to the bathroom, came back, got in the bed at like 6 a.m, and then like my toe was hurting.
Got it. You hit it on the head. Got it.
Probably. All right.
Well, yeah, my week hasn't been too bad. It's been pretty cool. My roommate, their grandmother, who's actually like a whole pastor, she's here, so it's been real lit. If I curse less this episode, you know why. And yesterday, the police were supposed to come sweep out Anarchy Road, the homeless encampment down the block. They're back down the block. But it sounds like from all the protesting that was going on out the window, it sounds like they're there today. So maybe I'll check later when we're talking about promotions, see if they're still there or what's going on with that. 'Cause, you know? But overall, not bad. But in the background, shit is wild.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this week wasn't too crazy after work. I just pretty much chilled this week, trying to find myself again. So I had to pause everything. Last day of work was kind of crazy because supposedly right in the middle of shift change, we get this guy saying that he got jumped. 'Cause I don't know who's watching this. If he did get jumped, I'm definitely sorry for him. He ended up being, let me put it like this, he ended up being somebody famous. So we're still trying to figure out the situation. So, if the case is what it is, we definitely, our hearts go out to that and just trying to figure out the situation.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first 2 days of the week wasn't that good. My girlfriend uncle just had a funeral yesterday for for uncle. I'm not too good on funerals, but later on this week I'll be going to the gun range. Let out a little couple ink. I'll be there for a while.
So as far as me and my week, I'm just a very boring person. All I do is work, sleep, podcast, work some more, and pop some shit. So that's all I've been doing. But I actually do a photo shoot on Saturday. My friend has a hair care line. Yeah. And I did a photo shoot. So yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
That sounds like life right here.
Yes, honey. All right, you guys. So our topics for today is going to be how can you be single and in a relationship at the same time? Star Wars. Why is it hard for people to leave toxic relationships? The Dollar General Walkout this week. And last, the trans inmate that impregnated 2 female inmates. All right. Now, a word from our sponsors.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals. A-Ze Kreations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
Okay, guys. So today I want to talk about how can you be single and in a relationship at the same time. For some reason, that statement seems to like go over everyone's head. Like, I don't know why, but I have learned that there are different views about it. So I kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about it and see what y'all thought about it. Like, when you hear a person say, "I'm single, but I'm in a relationship," what do you think when they say that? What do you assume?
Uh,
Uh,
oh, who wants to go first? Well, okay. Anyway, so I'll say this. I've kind of been in that situation before. So like, the dog's dad. I was like, I felt that way, even though like we had been together for a long time. It was more like I had emotionally kind of checked out because it was just so toxic, you know, that I just kind of was like, I felt single because I wasn't really getting the love and care that I actually needed from him. I mean, I've had other guys like that too, like where I just felt single, even though I was with someone, and it was just like not cool.
They
Yeah,
wasn't meeting your needs and speaking your love
not a,
language. So it was
yeah,
just occupying the space.
occupying the space. Yep.
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. I was in that predicament too a couple years ago.
You too, Kenny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was in that predicament. I thought it started as a relationship, but after a while, she started to change, and she started to act like like she was single, but she was in a relationship. So I thought like, okay, so since she's doing that, I'm gonna do that too. But it was like I felt guilty at the same time that I was doing it because I knew I was with someone. I didn't want to hurt the person's feelings. But at the same time, that person is doing me dirty. So it was just a really, really tough situation with Zoe. It messed me up mentally, to the point like I didn't want to be bothered with anyone for a while. But at the same time, I want to interact with people. It was just that it just fucked me up a little bit in the brain. So
So I have a few questions for you.
Uh-oh.
First thing is, why not just leave? Why stay?
I was with her for 7 years. We started. We had a couple of things together. We did some business and things together. So it was like mentally like I left, but like I only stayed for the time like a little bit like a month or two because we had business and stuff together. But other than that, is I checked out. Like I clocked
So
out. And
why
she was
not
like,
communicate your feelings to your partner though?
I did. I communicated with her, but she was on some shit like I was doing too much or I was too sensitive. But I'm like I'm bringing to you details. I'm telling you shit, and I'm giving you facts. And it's like you. It's just like it just go to one ear, come out the other. Like it was just she wasn't mature enough to really understand. But a couple years later, I ran into her. We say hello. No no bad blood, no nothing, no bad blood. And she finally apologized for what she did to me because she understand. Believe it or not, I was petty. I was like, maybe someone treated the same shit that you did to me. And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh. And I smirked and walked away. But yeah.
Did that make you feel better?
Yes, it did. I felt good. I was in my brain. I was like,
really?
Score! Yes!
So that was
Somebody
like
got
the
this fucking girl.
That was like the closure.
That was a closure. Yeah. Her family still mess with me. They talk to me here and there. I have a good conversation with the family, but they were also riding along with me because they see that she was doing some fuckery shit and she wasn't woman enough to like acknowledge,
Quick question. I'm sorry, I got a little country there. Is this little man's mama?
Nah, that's a whole nother story.
Uh-oh.
She just called it out. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't because she just called it out.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, you won't bother me.
So what ended up happening to the businesses once you guys decided to separate?
Kind of find out. I took over the business. It started fade away a little bit because the love that I put towards it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just let it fade out a little bit. I didn't get it like legally licensed from business, so I didn't take it to the next step where I get taxes and stuff like that.
So you should have just left the bitch in the first place. You should have just moved on. That was the lesson learned.
Listen, I feel good when she said someone
was the lesson learned. You should have just moved on when you start feeling single, or she started acting single, whichever one. Sound like you. Okay, next.
Well, I'm gonna say on that end.
But if I didn't do it, I'll be some type of dog or a nigga who do some fuckery shit, and she'll trying to play the victim role.
Understandable. But at the same time,
wait till I tell y'all how I came up with this topic. I'm just letting y'all discuss it because I'm curious. But wait, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I like you, y'all.
What about you, miss?
Y'all want me to? It was my topic, so I was letting y'all get it out before I let y'all know how
I mean, if you want to go in before I say my piece, if you want to go in and talk about
I'm sorry.
I mean,
what did you say, Tryst?
No, I was saying if she wants to go ahead, talk about why she's like inspired to do the topic. Because to me, there's a lot of things where people might give you certain advice, but since it's coming from their point of view and it's also like they're not taking into consideration the shit you're actually living through, some things you just have to go through for you to be like, all right, I'll never repeat that situation again. Like I've been in that situation where like similar to like what Kim was saying, or similar to what Queen Pedii was saying, where like I've done the whole, and nothing against non-monogamy and stuff like that, because I think I could do that again with the right partner. But I've been in the whole open relationship. I've been someone who takes my time getting relationships, and I've been someone who takes too long getting out of relationships past expiration date. Because at the same time, if I even, y'all know me, I like to have fun, I like to show love and get love, but I'm not gonna commit if it doesn't feel like there's enough compatibility for this to go the distance. So if I'm in a relationship, I don't just walk away from a relationship, because I saw the potential forever with that person. So I work for it, and that's why, like, after certain situations, I even much more careful about what I'm gonna get in a relationship for, and like, I'm much more like, I'm not gonna tolerate certain things going on too long in a relationship. So I think it's really important to ask yourself whether it's talking to someone, whether it's dating, whether it's just in the bedroom, whether it's, for a relationship, what do you actually need to be fulfilled, and is what you're in actually fulfilling it?
Well, those are definitely things I feel like these are questions that should be asked or discussed, or before you even consider that person your boyfriend or your girlfriend. If you my boyfriend, we've already discussed this. You know what all my needs are physically, emotionally, financially. You know what my needs are. I know what your needs are. I know what your love language is. You know what my love language is. You're not going to be my boyfriend, and I don't know that.
Yeah. I totally agree. Because like me and editor here, like I think like in our first, was it our first week or second week, we talked about like what our love languages were. I don't need you to get your voice on the thing, but you can talk.
The voice of God.
The voice of God.
You got to call him out. There you go. The voice of God. Where you at, the voice
It
of
was
God?
the first week.
He has left
First week.
us.
The
It was
very
the first
first
week.
week.
The very first
It
week.
was the very
So
first
we
week.
had that conversation, to make sure that we were compatible, and we actually like talked on Bumble for like what 2-3 weeks before like I gave him my number. So I wanted to
Girl,
make
you
sure that he
good.
was
2
on
or
the
3
right
weeks, that's
path.
all.
Mm.
Girl, I be dragging niggas for months.
Oh man.
Oh,
I
Lord.
don't
Just
do that
be
this long
okay.
You be looking
Because
for you
because
be
we
searching
did
the guy criminal
discuss that
background.
everyone's experience is different. So,
Yeah.
like I was asking Kenny, what lesson did he get out of that? Because at the end of the day, every experience you go through is either gonna be a lesson or a blessing. So once you learn a lesson, you learn it whether it's something you want to repeat or not. So if it's something you don't want to repeat, you put things in place. And for me, I really protect my heart. Like I was in a you might as well call it a relationship, and this is another thing that I have a few
Explain to girl.
situations that will
Explain.
relate to this topic. But me and this guy, like he was the only person I was seeing. Like we was rocking together, we was doing all kind of stuff together, we was hanging out. Like he really was my boo. But I never said you my boyfriend, and he never said you my girlfriend. Because I think we both were just really, really protective of our heart,
Yeah.
but we were like doing all the stuff that girlfriend and boyfriends do,
Oh wow.
trips and all kind of
No,
shit.
and I'm
But that's
glad
not
you
that
said
crazy
that
to me
because
though.
that's what I was gonna point to. Is it's a common thing, and it happens because people don't communicate. So whether you're never in the relationship and y'all just treating it like that, so you have a party that thinks they are, or you're in a relationship and it's so toxic, but you've never really had that exit conversation. So one party is like, man, we pretty much did anyways. I'm doing me. When you might be dead, but if you didn't really have sit down and say, look, we going our separate ways, that creates an issue. It's that communication.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. So in hindsight, in that situation, it definitely was a lack of communication because like I promise y'all, we literally talked like 8 years. And then like at the end of it all, we actually had a conversation, and it was like I was committed to you even though you didn't know I was committed to you. And it was the same way, but I don't think it was a lack of communication. I think it was both of us just being protective of our hearts. Like he was protecting his heart, and obviously like I always protect mine. Like I have a brick wall that's up like the damn castle. So and I know that, but he knows that also. Like I was very open about that. That's why I can't talk to anybody. You have to work for this. You have to earn my trust.
Yeah.
But to me, that's no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, but I was gonna say, all right. I would say to me that's like what y'all just mentioned is important because often we think we're communicating to someone, but we're both because we're so focused on like what we're missing out on or like what we need, and like it's important to be focused on that. But when we're trying to communicate past each other, and so we're feeling like they should understand what I'm saying, but we're not in a place where we're actually getting each other because there's still something we're holding on to that like is not being felt by the other person. So I seen this thing online talking about how to make sure your communication is actually effective and like so that a lesson just doesn't become a wound and you take the wrong lessons from it. So I saw something saying to make a list of everything you and a partner or an ex have argued about, no matter how small, no matter how long ago, and then rewrite the same list but from your partner's perspective, and then try and come up with solutions for that. And from all of that, it's not just like, oh, this is going to prevent you from ever fighting again, but now you will actually have lessons to take away from like what it's not just about fighting to win, it's not just about protecting your ego, it's not just about stunting on the other person, but like, can we actually work on a solution together now that we have solutions that we found out? Or are we just like so incompatible that it's better to break it off and to continue to harm and hurt each other and just have resentment left over afterwards. You know?
Can be communication. For some people, it is communication. But in my particular situation, it was not a lack of communication. Like me, person literally talked about everything. And to this day, we are still friends. And I feel like I can talk to him about anything because he actually, you know, how your spouse is the person that makes you feel comfortable and secure. Like, I literally feel like that person makes me feel secure. He really do. And our situation was different because he was younger than me. He was younger than me. So like even in the beginning of the friendship or whatever you want it to be, we did actually communicate, and it was like he wanted to have kids, whereas I already had kids. I didn't want any more kids. And he was such a wonderful person that I didn't want to hold him back from any of his dreams. I didn't want to not make it where he wasn't able to do anything that he wanted to do in life, which included having kids. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do that for him. But as time progressed and we enjoyed each other's company and became comfortable with each other, it just turned into an unspoken damn relationship. Like, we never admitted it, but like, in hindsight, like I said, communication is always really, really good. So he and I had a conversation like years down the road when he decided to date somebody else or whatever he had going on. And he was like very honest with me. I really appreciated that. He was like, you know, I'm starting to see this person. Woo, woo, woo. He even told me when they got serious. He told me when they were about to get married.
Oh,
yeah, all that. All that. So, but that's not why this conversation came up. This conversation came up because exactly what Kenny said. There are so many people in a relationship that are actually, they act like they single. They act like they don't have a partner. They don't try to do anything to satisfy their partner. Or on the other side of it, which is what I say, y'all gonna think I'm ratchet, is you're the person that's in a relationship of someone in a relationship. So you single, but you have a whole relationship. Like in my case, I had a whole relationship with a married man. He was my motherfucking boyfriend. You ain't gonna tell me he wasn't my boyfriend.
But that's real. That's real life. Like I think like because it's true. It's real life. It's true. Like we talk in ways like it's not real, but it's real.
It sounds really ratchet. But that's what I mean. Like, literally, to the world, I was single. But to the world, I was single. But I was committed to this man. Like, I loved him. He had a wife, but at the end of the day, like, he was committed. Like, I can't say he was committed to me, but he obviously wasn't committed to her. In hindsight, it's like, how in the hell you committed to both of us? But you have to think about it, there's a lot of people in polygamy relationships and things like that. He met all my needs as a partner. It's nothing that I can ask him for that I didn't get. If I say let's go out of town next weekend, what I mean is it was just like that. He'd be like, cool, I'm gonna make it happen.
Okay. Well, let's go to our next let's go to our commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals.
All right. Well, that was a spicy, spicy conversation. And now we are going to go to the main event, Star Wars. Okay. Look, I am a Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan. My daddy made me a Star Wars fan. Okay. I am giving urban Princess Leia today, Black Princess Leia, honey. I love Star Wars. But
Why Star Wars got to be the main event? Because this ain't my show and I'm the guest and I need to mind my business. That's what you're saying? Cool, got it.
No, the whole show is the main event. But I
don't know shit about Star Wars, but about Darth Vader. So y'all go keep going.
Hey, that's something. You know something then.
I might learn something today. So let's go.
All right. So today is May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you guys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my earliest memories of Star Wars, y'all, I was in first grade and I think they were like doing the 20th anniversary of like episode 4. And my dad took me out of school early just so we could go see it in theaters. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell y'all, I was in love with Mark Hamill. I was in love with him. I thought he was the finest thing ever until I saw the
Even with Han right there.
You said what?
I said even with Han right there.
I mean, I had already seen Harrison Ford because he was in Indiana Jones and stuff, so I already knew who he was. But yeah, I had really not seen Mark Hamill, and I didn't realize that was Joker in the animated series of Batman. So, like, because it's the voice, so it didn't connect as a 7-year-old. But yeah, we used to go and rent the videos like 4, 5, and 6, and every year, May the 4th, I go on Disney Plus and I do a little timeline, from episode 1 to the sad ass Disney remakes. But yeah, no, I love it. And I got my dad one year for Father's Day some Darth Vader cufflinks.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Star Wars. Oh, and we had pillowcases and sheets for Star Wars. Ooh, child. Oh, we was a Star Wars family, honey.
It sounds like
okay. It. You went from Princess Leia to Queen. We can see, girl.
Wow.
Queen Amidala.
Yes, honey.
For me, like, I definitely didn't grow up in a Star Wars loving household. I grew up more so by myself watching Star Trek Voyager with like Captain Janeway and 7 and 9, and they fine asses. But I would say like my first real experience with the Star Wars franchise was like Palpatine and all his delicious, manipulative evilness, and like the last of the prequel movies, which can't be amazing, great. He makes the whole prequels. And I did like things from Last Jedi, like Rey and Kylo's whole Force connection, and that Lightspeed shot that looks like it was out of an anime from the Holo maneuver. It would have been smarter to use a droid or autopilot, but that was kind of sick, sickening seeing it in theaters. But like you just mentioned, like Star Wars as a franchise is like they fucking up, man. They rely too heavily on fan service. Even the stuff that people like The Mandalorian, they just try to copy and paste that over into like Boba Fett and do it in ways that don't make sense and it's just Disneyfied. If you gave me a whole bunch of money, there's so much I would change in Star Wars to make it hit so much better. But that's just me.
Sure. You mean the
Listen,
new ones?
you so sad. Yes, the new ones.
Oh, okay.
Yes, especially the new ones.
Oh. Yes. Go. Y'all just looking.
Right?
I like the old and the new. I was already into it. I mean, I'm a old fighter type of guy, so like the swords and all that. Like I'm not. I mean, I love guns, obviously, but I feel like anybody can pick up a gun and pull the trigger. Like literally anybody can do that. Yeah, your aim might not be the best as say somebody like me that constantly trains, but you can still pick up a weapon and be effective. If we were in the old times and I say, hey, pick up a sword and go on the battlefield with me, not everybody gonna be able to do that. Like you be able to pick up a sword and swing it, but that's about it. So
no, I'd be like, just give me a blade. I'ma cut their toes or some shit. Don't. I'm just talking shit. But give me a blade. I'm good on the sword.
But me and my friends used to always joke about the lifesavers because we like, yo, you had to have some skills. You mess up with a lifesaver, you done. You mess up with a real sword, you might slice yourself. I mean, you live. You mess up with a lifesaver, you cut your arm off. Like
that's it.
done.
Yeah.
Like one hit, you over.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of showcased that in the Book of Boba Fett when damn, fuck. What is his name?
Fuck.
What's his name, yo? Mandalorian. Okay, the Mandalorian Darth Saber, and he fucked his leg up, yo. It's showcased that yes, you have to be really careful with these sabers because his leg messed up, and all he did was like tap. He didn't even like put force into it. Yeah.
You know what's so funny though? I've seen this thing where it pointed out a huge flaw with lightsabers, where if someone's swinging at you and you back up, turn off your saber, and then June turn it back on like Kylo did in Last Jedi, where you would be murdering everybody who's trained to do all the you just turn off your shit when they try and like swing, and they fucking basically fall into you shooting through their face with the lightsaber.
Oh yeah. If they're not thrown,
like all that, just turn your saber off and then take them out
the way.
That sounds dangerous as fuck.
I'm gonna say, man, swords, that type of combat is just it's on a whole different level than what we got now. It's just on a whole different level.
Yeah. I'm from the land to throw them bows.
Can't do that with the lightsabers though.
We gonna duke it out. Like literally, my grandfather used to put us in the front yard and say, "You gonna whoop their ass? If they whoop yours, I'm gonna whoop yours."
Yep. I'm whooping your ass.
Either you gonna whoop their ass or I'm gonna whoop yours. So
you better make Grandpa proud too.
My experience with Star Wars, my only experience with Star Wars is when it came on, I turned the channel. Just saying.
It's okay. What about you? Wait, Kitty. What about you?
Listen,
she said, I'm
not really a big fan of Star Wars. I only like, to be honest, CP3O and the other guy, the other robot. That's it. Other than that, I really don't mess with
T2?
Yeah.
It's C3PO.
Repeat that?
C3PO.
Yeah, see?
That motherfucker be correcting you when it come down to that damn Star Wars. You with me?
I am C3PO. Okay.
But no, I could have sworn I said that name.
No, you said CP3O.
Well, he know.
I know.
You just said the robot.
I know a tall, golden robot that moves like this. That moves like that, and other than that, and Chewbacca, right? Chewbacca was in there.
Yeah, Chewbacca.
See, that's
it. You should have just said you fuck with the robots.
Yeah, I would know exactly what you're talking about.
And the space troopers
I knew that, and I ain't even watched it.
No, but I'm gonna tell y'all. I used to love the fuck out of the Ewoks and that little Ewok song at the end of the Return of the Jedi.
You love that song because I don't know that. You know the song? Sing
I had
it.
the old movies before they
She
put the
already
song out.
singing it in her head,
So,
Juicy. She dancing.
yeah, like
She's singing it in her
Mm-hmm.
head. She just ain't
I
saying it
am
out
the.
loud.
They was getting it. I was like, oh, these are black people. These are black people.
Not the little bear monkeys.
Yes, yes, the Ewoks were fucking black people. That's what they were.
That's a problem. that's our black representation.
They were so cute because like they were like throwing
The
rocks
devil
and
is
shit.
a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about that's our black representation. The devil is a lie.
It was. They
That
were
and Lando,
black.
that's it.
When they got on them drums, honey, they were black people.
Darth Vader represented the black people because he said what the fuck he said.
Mm-hmm.
But them Ewoks,
And he meant it.
they was I'm telling you, the drums. Them Ewoks and them drums. Damn, y'all just looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well go all in with the song as long as they don't copyright. My only problem with Star Wars, like I said, is that it's a franchise that's set up the way it's set up now is gonna die. Like they're gonna run into the same thing. How many times are you gonna have Death Stars and light swords and laser swords and all that, and the same Empire versus the Republic and all that shit, or the Resistance? Like there's so much that they can switch up.
At this point, like that's why they're just doing like Mandalorian and the what's it called, and Boba Fett and the Bad Batch, because I don't even think they're doing Clone Wars anymore.
No, but they're doing Obi-Wan though.
I think Clone Wars is finished. Is Clone Wars finished, babe?
Yes, Clone Wars is finished.
Okay, so yeah, it's finished. So
She looks sad about that shit too.
Huh?
Because they have a great IP that they're killing.
Are you sad?
Why you like this? Why you like this? She's sad.
Her whole face dropped like, yeah, I think it's over.
I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars and I like Marvel. So that's my thing, honey. That's my thing.
They could borrow some ideas from Marvel for real though, or like from other it shouldn't always just be Jedi versus Sith, and every now and then a Mandalorian pops up. Like think about like if Jedi and Sith had to come together to fight like the Reapers from Mass Effect, or the Necromorphs from Dead Space, or the Xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, or the Borg from Star Trek. Or if like Mandalorians had to fight like the Predators from the Predator franchise, and like there's so many things that they could do to expand. Like think about all the slavery and feudalism in Star Wars. Like if you're gonna do a whole droid war or a robot war, like part 2, you could set that shit up on some Terminator, like Matrix Skynet shit. Like there's room for them to do so much more, and they're so just like, ooh, what's safe? What will the fans like instantly just throw money at us no matter what we do? And that's gonna kill that's gonna kill that universe, that franchise.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like at this point, I think they kind of done with the whatchamacallits, with like because that's why now they have kind of Grogu and they're kind of going backwards because Mandalorian is
all prequels,
Return of the Jedi and the new ones.
New Hope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, is it New Hope? No, was the newest one?
No, yeah, because Empire's already done. It would be between. Yeah, you're right. It would be between Force Awakens and
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be between that and Force Awakens.
Yeah, it was between those two movies because Luke is still, young in Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and he's teaching Grogu. I'm wondering. I asked this question to our editor last night. I was like, "So what happened to Grogu? Like in between all this stuff? Like where is Grogu?"
He's gonna be in that next trilogy. Just wait. When they start doing trilogies again, he's gonna pop up.
My thing is, he should be in the trilogy. He should have been somewhere in the trilogy. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like why bring him in between these movies and not even have him in any of the movies?
Because he just started him up. Same thing with Ahsoka. Why wasn't Ahsoka in any of the trilogy stuff? They just started up, and it's like they're trying to fit it in. That's why.
Y'all need to be asking where Jar Jar Binks is.
Jar Jar is
that's that too.
He is in a bubble under the water, okay? That's where Jar Jar is.
Nah, he's a master Sith. He's running everything. He's the true Palpatine.
Lord of mercy. Okay, you guys. Well, may the fourth be with you guys. Let's go to our next commercial break. Yes.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals.
Yeah. So my topic today is, why do people stay in toxic relationships? What makes it hard for people to leave toxic relationships? See what my cast think first, but I definitely have my personal feeling on this. But how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to the fact of how we bond in the first place versus like seeking out real like compatibility and like that we actually keep each other happy. You just fall into a routine, and like a routine that becomes toxic the less y'all listen to each other, the more you're trying to avoid arguments, the more y'all get into bout arguments, and the more like that resentment builds, and that's what leads to cheating. That's what leads to checking out emotionally, like we were talking about with being single while in a relationship. That's just what leads to unhappiness when you, because of all the time you invested, because you got with them in the first place, because you don't want nobody else to mess with them, because like y'all pay bills together, so you, or you have kids together, you're like, well, I guess I might as well just stick around, or you just don't want to be embarrassed that, oh, another breakup and they've moved on, and you're like, well, they're the only one who knows the true ugly real side of me and no one else does. Like those are the things. And then let's not also forget abuse and like financial control and all that other stuff. So like there's a lot like these people stuck in like dead end relationships, like in a stagnant, bitter life, you know?
Yeah, like sometimes some people don't even notice that they're in a toxic relationship. Some people, you got some people who is used to certain things, but it could be another person from the outside looking in saying that's toxic, and they're probably, no, he or she just loved me, or blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just some people don't notice that they're in a toxic relationship. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
No, that's right. You're right.
You are. Yeah.
They may not consider it toxic because they're used to certain behaviors. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
And it could come from how they're raised too. You know, people, you learn from what you experience. So if you experience a relationship where your mom and your daddy cussing each other out all the time, or we're not sleeping together because we're mad, or you know, you're gonna feel like that's normal.
Yeah.
But I personally feel like people, I guess, to just narrow it down to one thing, that people are scared. A lot of people are in toxic relationships because they're scared, and they can be scared of what other people think. They can be scared of starting over. They can be scared because they're comfortable with their partner. They can be scared for financial reasons. They can be scared because the sex bomb is fuck, and they just feel like, I ain't gonna get that nowhere else. So, you know, I'm gonna stick with people stay in toxic relationships because they're scared. Now, their scary reason may be a different reason, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, they
I
like
don't say
that
on that
whole
note
thing.
too. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say a quick point on the because sometimes people stay in like relationships even if there's no sex. Like if you look on certain forums on Reddit, there are people talking about them and their partners haven't had sex in like 10 years, 15 years, 17 years, and like people just
A
fall
lot
into
of
a
people
certain
say that.
routine.
They're getting it from somebody else.
A lot of
Well,
people
maybe,
say that, but
but there's a lot of
baby,
couples are sexless though. A lot of couples like it's like
why?
there's the toxicity of bonding, but there's also the toxicity of just like you settled for less, and like this is just your partner, and the only thing that's bonding you is that you're both have mutual resentment for each other, but for other people outside of your couple, and so like that's the person you get to shit on other people with. That's the person who like
Okay,
you look
so
at and
you
like
just said
the demons inside link together.
thank you so
No,
much
go
for that because
ahead.
you just made 2 points that validated what I said. They're scared
Yeah.
because of what the outside entities may think. They're scared because they're comfortable with their partner and they just don't want to change. So thank you for that
Yeah.
confirmation.
But sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be a religious thing too, as well, culture thing too, as well.
That's who. Yeah.
Yeah, I know somebody that says that they don't believe they're in a toxic relationship. I had a conversation with them. They won't leave because they don't believe in divorce. But you and your partner don't sleep
Mm-hmm.
together. Y'all don't have sex together. Y'all don't go on vacation together. Like you single as fuck.
Word
Like
up.
I'm
Word
confused.
up.
You have a roommate at this point. Like
Mm-hmm.
anytime you
Yeah.
can't even tell your partner good morning, love you, baby, have a great day. I don't get that. That's some toxic ass shit.
It's
But
something.
that's how a
Real.
lot of relationships been for hundreds of years though. Like when we
Yep.
talk about culturally and like it wasn't putting each other's pleasure first. It was just whatever is gonna like. Especially you talk about like people who've come from oppression, and so you just held it together for the sake of you and your kids and your partner surviving. People tolerated so much BS for so long that when people are talking about I just break up with someone if it's over this and the other, people look at that like that's crazy. But like, not saying that's how you have to always move, but more of us gotta start thinking about our happiness and what's actually making us happy and what's killing our souls inside.
So
Well,
so let
I
me.
think.
Oh, hmm.
Go
oh,
ahead. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say like in my experience, like I usually would be like I'm kind of like a person that doesn't like to give up,
Mm-hmm.
and like so when I'm in a relationship, even if it's getting toxic, my thing is I will speak on your toxic ass behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I will sit there and I'll call your toxic ass behavior out. And like I know this one time I was engaged to this guy and he actually lied to me about having a kid. Like,
Oh hell
yeah,
no!
he
Fucking
lied. Like he
man.
kept talking because like I have fertility
I
issues,
get it, but how
right?
long are you gonna get away with that?
Okay, but
Yeah.
just tell
So
me.
it didn't
Maybe
last
you
too
were
long
you
with
were
him getting
super
away
young
with it.
when this happened. Was he
Oh
super
yeah.
young
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't realize you can't hide a whole child?
No, so what
Right?
happened was I was having a conversation with him because we were talking about, adoption and stuff like that. But he kept saying about this little girl that he wanted to adopt or whatever. And I'm like, something was just clicking to me like, nah, this don't seem right. So I asked him, I said, hey, this little girl you keep talking about adopting, is this your child? And he was just like, yeah. And I'm like,
He should have
you
said in
lied.
spirit.
I was like, you lied to me. You
Was that
dropped
the deal
me.
breaker for you though?
Yeah, it was a deal breaker, and he knew that.
Oh, cause baby,
That's
baby,
why.
baby,
He wanted,
ain't no grown ass, real ass man hiding their kids. Cause it's like this is my baby, and yeah,
hmm
Mm-hmm.
it's part of the
yeah,
Yep.
and
package.
Yep.
exactly, and that would have been okay. You know what? I probably would have accepted. Well, I did accept it, but I would have accepted it in the beginning if he had just been honest, though. Like, just
Yeah.
be honest with me. Like, let me know you got kids. Don't wait
How long
until like
y'all
it's
had
like
been together before you found this out, child?
I think like maybe 2 months.
Oh, girl, that
Mm-hmm.
ain't.
Oh,
Did you
that's
say
not
you
that
was
long.
engaged to
Yeah.
him? I thought you was about to say some
I
years or some shit. 2 months.
Yeah. But you hid it from me for 2 months.
Okay, let me ask you this though. And I know you want to stay on the subject, but I'm just curious. So did he actually hide it from you, or did it never come up in conversation? Because some people, and he say no.
He said no.
He straight up.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah, it was bad.
I did not bring it up at first, but yeah.
Back then, that was like the first question I always asked somebody, because my thing is I didn't really want anyone with a child, because at that point I'm 22. What the fuck do I want to be a stepmother for? You know?
No, that's
I'm
right.
living my life, and I don't care for myself.
That's real though.
That's real. I ain't trying to be no stepmom.
Exactly.
I want me and my man to work and travel and work.
Yeah, I'm 22 and I have no children. I just got a dog and a cat. Like I'm not.
A child. You responsible for feeding
traveling. But it was just like, why would you like it was a whole bunch of fuckery with that whole relationship. And I bet you looking at it, sir. Yes, I'm talking about you. Okay. But no, it was toxic, especially at the end of it. But
it was a whole relationship in 2 months.
He had a mental breakdown. He made me have a mental breakdown. That's Oh yeah.
Hold up. So this was a whole relationship after 2 months, correct?
Well, this was like way after the whole mental breakdown thing was way after. Like he
lied to you for 2 months. Why the fuck did he get past 2 months?
I was stupid.
That was a big lie. It wasn't like, damn, babe, I told you I was wearing a blue shirt and I wore a black. No, nigga, you got a whole child in these damn streets.
And
but I feel like 2 months is easy to accept like that early.
I think like what he was saying
when
earlier,
if you give me a big lie like that, see, my friends say that I need to be a little bit more compassionate, because I'm from the Navajo. I ain't gonna tolerate a whole type of tribe shit. Cause like, no, that would have been the end of our 2 months right there.
Yeah, I know. And usually it would have been the end of mine, but like I was just like, you know what? I'm engaged. At that point, I was engaged. It was quick. Y'all. It was quick.
Yeah, see, I don't even want to talk about this shit no more, because that's a whole nother topic. How the fuck you engaged after 2 months? You don't even know him. You don't even know him. Case in point, you didn't know he had a child.
We were friends, and I did not know he had a kid. And we were friends.
How long were
Man, he was good at hiding shit that friendship.
3 years.
Okay, how long were y'all friends before the relationship?
Maybe 2 years.
That kind of makes it worse though, because how do you have a kid for 2 years?
I didn't know he had a kid.
That makes it kind of worse.
That never you know he a deadbeat daddy. If he a badass,
that makes it worse.
Well,
because if it was just 2 months and he lied about it, I get that. But
I don't get
none of that shit. Talking about you getting hell no.
I do get it, because like in the same way, if you never brought it up, he made it a problem by saying I'm gonna adopt some kid. Why are you talking to me in 2 months about wanting to adopt some kid? What? You want to save Africa? You want to save the Caribbean? What are you talking about?
No. The reason why the children adopting a kid came up is because, one, like I said, I have fertility issues. We were talking about having kids. And he was like, well, there's this little girl that he wanted to adopt. And like, because he
was laying the groundwork.
So,
oh, wow. He's trying to sell that lie. Huh? Yeah, he was laying the groundwork. He's laying the groundwork.
You smell that? I smell bullshit.
Smell that bullshit.
No. Yeah. His mother confirmed he was adopted. His mother.
No, I believe he was adopted. He was just using that though, all to paint this picture of like, oh yes, and you see, she's right here. She's ready to be adopted. Let's be parents together.
No, I never met that little girl. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. I never met his daughter. Yeah.
You sure that's his daughter?
But no,
that sounds like Debbie energy for real, man.
You sure that's his daughter?
Yeah.
If we've been friends for 2 years, any real father a father that's actively
Yeah.
involved in their child's life, at some point
Mhm.
they're going to have an event to go to. They're going to have something they need to they're going to mention their child.
But I didn't know.
Yeah. No, it's not on you. It's just wild. That's why I said it's worse.
Well,
Hey, your friends for that long and
whack as fuck.
I was coming out of a vulnerable situation as well. Like when me and him actually did get together. So like it was just a lot. And yeah,
okay,
he
so
definitely,
because the relationship moved so fast and he was a rebound, did you just like fall on his dick or some shit? Because that's what it sounded like.
oh Lord.
I didn't fall on the penis.
No, but
I wish I did. No, it wasn't falling on penises. Like I think
it's probably just like she said, being in a vulnerable situation and him being there at that moment. You know?
Usually when you're
Especially
in a
if they were friends
vulnerable
beforehand.
situation, usually a vulnerable situation and someone that's been friends for years and it turns into a relationship mean we slept together. We didn't mean
Maybe.
to, but I was in a vulnerable
we were engaged
situation. I was
before we
feeling
slept
some type of
together.
way, and
We were engaged before we slept
It did
together.
down.
We were engaged before we did.
Yeah. So like for her, it wasn't falling on the dick. It was more so like, oh, like falling in security of like, ooh, we're gonna get married and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's adopt. But he wants you to adopt his daughter. Is his name
and that would have been fine.
Certificate?
But he should have
Probably.
Did he talk to his baby mama?
I never met her.
I think that's why he was doing all this, so that if the baby mama came up, she would already be down and she wouldn't like, oh, I gotta leave. He would have already prepared all this so that like when she finally finds out, it'd have been normalized enough that she would go along with it.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. We kind of running over time. Let's go to our next commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals.
Hey, we're back, and for the next topic, it's going to be Dollar General Walkout. That was this, I believe, Monday. It was on May 2nd. And first, I want to thank Jasmine, someone I went to college with, who's one of our viewers, for suggesting this topic to us. And it's crazy because if she hadn't told me about it, I probably wouldn't have heard about it at all because there doesn't seem to be a lot of news coverage on it. And what's crazy about that is we see all of the, basically, the strikes and the protests and the fights for unionization that's going on with Amazon. But when you look at Dollar General, that should be almost even higher in our minds. Not higher, but like there should be way more awareness for it because 75% of all Americans have a Dollar General within like a 5 mile radius of them. And like Dollar General is actually like the largest retailer in like the country. They have like 18,000 locations, which is basically as much as Walmart and McDonald's has in America together. And so the reason they chose May 2nd to do a walkout is because May 1st is May Day, or International Workers Day. And that's to celebrate basically all the workers' rights that we have from all the labor unions and labor movements of the past. And the reason that they feel so compelled to like fight for more rights, for better pay, for more benefits, is because Dollar General's like Amazon is bad. Dollar General, I don't know if they're worse, but they might really be up there as like one of the worst with like exploiting their workers. Like even during the pandemic in 2000, the height of the pandemic, they made like $33 billion in revenue, $3.6 billion in profits, and guess how much their workers make? Their workers are actually like the lowest paid, like hourly employees of any retail chain in the country. They constantly make the managers work overtime. They purposely understaff their teams so that, and they purposely give like the workers like fewer hours so that they'll never get benefits. And then on top of that, there's people who will work basically 7 days, 12 to 15 to 16 hours a day, and especially when you're in management. And the CEO, Todd Basso, he looks for areas where there's high crime to basically put these stores in so that people want to flood it. And like when somebody who was a manager got stabbed, he actually said that, he said that he wished the person had finished the job so that somebody would be able to come into the store and bring it to a higher performance level and make more money. So like they're extra evil with this shit. And they literally say that their customers are the dumb, the poor, and the uneducated. And they purposely lobby Congress for the economy to get worse so that they have an even greater amount of like people who will buy from their stores. So all the things with the recession and pandemic, they purposely love that. But I'm gonna pass it to y'all what y'all think should be done. How do you think we should help these people? And like, do you see a bigger problem going on with all this?
I have so many problems with that. Like, I literally don't even know where to start. It's ridiculous. Like, it's crazy because I feel like there are certain retailers, Dollar General being one of them, that should be from not just from the employees, but the American people need to boycott them. I mean, that is the perfect example of it. You want to talk about cancel culture? They need to cancel their ass because they don't care about the employees or the people that's patronizing them. Like, who does that?
Yeah, that's like I would be if like that was my family member that had gotten stabbed. Actually, I probably would sue for emotional distress because one, you're a public figure saying this about somebody who could have lost their life. And then you're not even paying them well. I mean, but, you know, minimum wage is a whole topic that, you know, we have to go through here in the damn United States because we're fucking retarded. I'm sorry. We are. Every other fucking country is paying their workers well. They get a whole month of freaking vacation every year. A month. We get what, a week?
At least.
No, we
and not even guaranteed though. That's off of your off of your hours that you
In the UK, maternity leave is a whole year. And the husbands or the fathers of the children, they get 3 months. 3 months off. Paid. We have to like change our system when it comes to like how we treat workers. You know, because like we have to survive, and then also rent goes up. Like all this stuff, it just intertwines. Like, but I would be pissed. Yeah, I don't even shop at Dollar General anyway. Wait, is Dollar Tree and Dollar General the same place or two different places?
They're not the same, but Dollar General, Family Dollar, and Dollar Tree, they all operate the same way, and they also were even sued $1.2 million because guess what? They don't let their employees throw out like expired goods. So expired medicine, expired motor oil that only works on cars that were made before 1930. They still sell that. And expired food, they don't let them throw it out. They have to sell it. So they were actually sued, and but only for like $1.2 million. So they're actually sued because it's their policy to force employees to sell everything.
That's definitely illegal.
Yeah.
That's odd because like they don't do that at my Family Dollar. I be seeing shit in the trash all the time.
That's good. That's good. That's probably because employees who give it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a whole lawsuit for that.
But no, we definitely have to change the way that employees are being treated. I mean, I treat y'all good, right? I treat y'all.
I mean, you're not making us sell no expired goods.
True. Anybody else want to talk about Dollar General?
Oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Glenn. You can say.
All right, look. I mean, kind of what I feel what all y'all saying. Like, it's a sad situation in the United States. And how we treat our employees, I think Dollar General and all them, it's just, I mean, all companies do it. I think they just right now are being seen for it. But all companies, like, they really don't care about the employees. The truth is, they really don't care. They care about their numbers and how much money they're making, when unfortunately sometimes the employees are the ones that's even not allowing them to make their money. Um, I had that issue with a previous manager I had. I went into the store, and my whole idea when I went to the store, I was like, you know what? It's a fresh start for me. I'm not gonna go in here and act like I know how to run the store. I'm gonna go in here and act totally normal, and that's what I did. So he trained me, and for it'll be sometimes when my ego want to pop up, and I had to put it down. Like, nope, you don't know this right now. As far as I'm concerned, you're new. So it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? He kind of saw the skill level. So I was like, all right, I'll do this for you. I'll help you with this. And helping him with it went into me pretty much doing it. So when the numbers shot up, it wasn't because he was really in the store busting his ass. It was because I was in the store busting my ass doing your numbers, making sure we got the sale. And it turns into the idea where now he sits there like, oh, I'm getting all the Rolexes and all the challenges, but you're getting all of that because you're workers that were now at this point loyal to me because they saw me in there busting my ass every single day doing the 12 and the 13-hour shift. And usually that was on the lower level, but companies get like that. They get so high, making so much money where they stop caring about the little people in a sense, but those people are making your money. Those people are making sure the customers don't know the manager. The customer knows that cashier, that every time they come in, that cashier knows them by name now. That cashier greets them. They have their little 3-4 minute conversation. And that cashier makes them feel better. So that's why they go to your store than the other store that's 5 miles up the other way. And yeah, you're right. We have to change the dynamic of how we treat each other in that sense.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I think if we're going to actually help with not just the Dollar General situation, because they're fighting for a union and they've been fighting for a union for a while, but like the company was literally paying a firm like $35,000 a day to try and like shut down those, a day for a month, by the way, to try and shut down union efforts. So if you really want to help, not just at like Dollar General, Amazon, Starbucks, but even with your own jobs, because think about it, like you were just pointing out, most of like anything operating capitalism is exploitation. Most of the reason why people feel burnt out their jobs is because of exploitation and like the amount that's expected of you, and you're not even making the majority of your labor back in what you pay bills for and everything like that. So if you really want to help, sharing videos about the things that's going on at like these really messed up workplaces and like starting conversations about like, yo, I mean, that's really messed up, but we gonna do some stuff, some of the same stuff too. And like talking about that, talking about like the disparate, because they often know what you're talking about, promotions and how much you're gonna raise. Like talking about these things, you don't even have to get to the whole union part of talking yet, but get to the part of building worker solidarity for all these groups going through this, but also even in your own workplace. That's how you start getting people more aware of like what we've been lacking, what we've been missing.
Okay. All right, you guys. Let's go to our next commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals. A-Ze Kreations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
So, last but not least, it's a topic that I want to talk about is trans inmate that impregnate 2 women. The reason why I brought that topic up because I have a friend of mine that I haven't talked to her in maybe a year or so due to the fact that she just moved out of the state, and she sent me a link that she wanted me to check out. So I was like, all right. So I click on the link and come to find out that the 2 people we went to school with was in prison, but the guy identified himself as a female in a women's prison, impregnate one of the girls that we knew and someone else that we knew. So in my head, I'm like, how the hell did they let it slide? And and she was telling me that he identified himself as a woman, but his crime was that he killed. I think was it his foster father parents or his real parents? I can't remember. It was crazy, and she killed 2. She killed a newly These couple was engaged at the time, a couple years ago, and was killed. So she's in jail for double homicide, and he's in jail too as well. And
wait. Is that bitch a serial killer?
Okay, so she's all right. She's not a serial killer. She only did it because I guess she wanted to know how it feels to kill somebody.
Nah,
but
that's not the
that's definitely not something I'm interested in learning. No.
But the mastermind is
there are people out there.
So yeah, so the mastermind is really her cousin that did all the it was her cousin, and I think another girl. I can't remember who, but it's just crazy. So I'll let it get y'all a point about the
Okay, you said these people went to school with you, so where are they from? Because who the fuck raised them?
Jersey City. Jersey.
From where?
Jersey.
Oh, well, okay. A lot of crazy motherfuckers up through there. Yeah.
Chill. Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. But, I'm gonna say this is kind of the reason why I feel like a lot of people who are not, for trans rights and stuff like this, they'll sit there and use this as an example of why trans women and men are bad. And this is just kind of like a rare occurrence. Let's be real. It's rare that this kind of thing happens because, I feel like we would have heard more stories of stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what her mindset was to be dicking down these women and impregnating them. Maybe she wants children. I don't know. But I'm sure they don't have condoms there either. So
everybody in prison fucking each other. Man, woman, girl, boy.
Everybody in
prison fucking it just so happened that she has a penis. Hasn't had gender surgery. Now, what I've learned from trans people is just because they identify as a she does not mean that they're still not attracted to a she.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your sexuality and your identity are 2 different things. So just because she identifies as a woman does not necessarily mean that she's attracted to a man.
Yeah. Kind of like with Caitlyn Jenner.
And I know transgender people that do not want to have the gender surgery. They don't want to change their anatomy, but they still identify as the opposite sex, but they don't want to change their anatomy. So maybe she's still attracted to women, and she liked the way it feels when her dick slides in the pussy.
Yeah. But no, I just would hate for people to use this as an example as to why trans women shouldn't be put into the female jails, because I feel like for their safety, they should actually be in
Yeah.
the female prisons, because if they put a trans woman into a male prison, they're going to hurt her.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's
horrible things
what you call
to
it?
her.
Law and Order had an episode like that. That the
Yeah,
the boy turned into the girl, and she was dating a boy, and the brother found out that it was a boy, and the brother didn't know it was a trans, so she killed him. The trans, the girl. What? Ugh.
A previous guest actually explained this episode.
So that's so
It's
crazy because it's basically the same thing that I was discussing. So if it's a transgender woman, so a man that identifies as a woman, and she's still attracted to women, even though she's transgender. You put her in a male prison because of her anatomy, she's going to be violated.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's completely unfair. You take a person that's bisexual, or you take a person that's gay, and you put them in the same facility. They still fucking. They just can't get each other pregnant.
Yeah. What are you putting?
I feel really. I don't know. Like, hey. You
put them in a prison that don't be safe to say.
At this point,
I personally feel like whether people admit it or not, prisons make money. Prisons make money.
So that's the whole reason for private prisons.
Modern day slavery.
They are able to create facilities to house these people safely.
Mm-hmm.
But they choose
not. They don't want to. Yeah.
They choose not to.
Yeah. Like if you look at prisons across the street,
Hold up, no, because our editor sent me a message saying, so no, it was consensual.
Yeah.
Saying that
because obviously she's still attracted to women.
It was consensual.
She still had the dick though.
Yeah, it was consensual. Yeah, they said it was consensual.
Yeah, it's consensual.
Of course it was consensual. What woman in prison ain't gonna get no hard penis when they can?
Right. Yeah. And that's my point. And that's my point. I say what everybody doesn't want to say.
There's no violation. I can see if it was rape, then that's violation. But there is no violation when it. Thank you, babe.
She probably was a pimp in that bitch. Everybody wanted some.
Yeah.
You know, either way, and y'all gonna hate me for this, but I'm on the other side. I think it's ridiculous. If you got a dick still, then you need to go to a male prison. I agree. No, here's the thing. No one wants to say it because the reality of it hurts. Until the world,
that's not a good idea.
No, but look, y'all said y'all opinion. This is my opinion. It's not fair.
They don't want the liability of having
someone they don't want. In their prison. I know what they don't want, but that's not their fault. You went out there and did the crime until the world was made.
All male prison.
That's not how we should.
They will kill
yeah. If you want to make more prisons, then the prisons should be safer. It shouldn't be more dangerous for people.
But the reality is, regardless of where they're housed at, you can be transgender, you can mutual preference is men. So you have a dick and they have a dick. But no still means no. So you can still be violated. Just because you like dick don't mean that you can't be raped.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you should
look like. Consensual is different.
No, it's not what you look like. It's about how you identify. It's the person you can say.
There's a story right now about how a sheriff then ran out with a damn convict that's up for capital murder. So we can't even sit here and be like, oh, well, we can't do like the daggone correctional officers are sleeping with the inmate.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
My thing is, so what's the difference?
What's the difference of what?
Yeah.
Why is it? Why?
The
Okay,
difference
so
is trans misogyny. That's the difference.
no,
No,
The difference is
Wait,
misogyny.
I can't
if
hear
you
it.
made
I
with a
can't hear the
dick, you
question.
go to the male down.
the sheriff is a woman.
No.
She's a woman,
And especially in a country that's not going to pay,
Kristen, I can't
once she
hear
doesn't want the surgery. Okay, go ahead.
what you saying, Queen? What you saying?
I was okay. So there's I don't. Is she a sheriff? Well, whatever she is, she retired, and then she acted as if she was transporting this man who is going for capital murder, and they have run off somewhere. They don't know where they are.
Yeah.
This man could kill somebody.
He can kill her. He can kill her if he feels cornered.
No, they
Like, he used her hostage.
her. He's in love with her, and she's in love with him.
Yeah, but she's taking a risk. But my thing with Glenn, what you're saying is basically trans misogyny, and that energy is exactly what's used to not just create the anti-bathroom laws. It's not just used to do the whole things about this controversy about trans athletes and like stopping them from getting like puberty blockers when they're young. But that's the same energy. It doesn't just stay with trans people. That's the same energy that's powering the whole Supreme Court, like getting ready to get rid of like abortion rights and women reproductive rights. Whenever you let other oppressed groups be shit on, that will eventually come on all marginalized groups. So even if you have certain biases that you have internalized because of patriarchy or masculinity or whatever, you can't be speaking on things like this, especially as a cisgender person, without a sense of sensitivity. Because if it's just like, oh, that's not the way it should be, why? Because again, what's the statistics? No, let me finish. What's the statistics? As much as men,
I disagree with that.
He has to put himself in there. Like, how would he feel if that was him? And you are identifying as something else, and you're getting put into like basically a wild zoo of men, and you look like a woman, and it's just like would it be okay if we put females into
wait a minute. Don't they take some type of pills or stuff to get the have the hormones or the stuff they change to? So when they go to prison, they won't be having it anymore. So they're going to be the gender that
that's not true. Nope, that is not true.
Yes, they do.
They can still get their hormones in prison if it's medically necessary. It's just like medicine. It's just like them taking a birth control. They can get their prescriptions in prison, and guess who has to pay for it?
But that's also something that like they had to fight for too. The trans community, that's something that they had to fight for too. Taxpayers. Same thing with like the concept of universal healthcare, which is another thing where it's like they focus on these different subjects so that you'd be like, oh, I don't want my money going to that, and then they justify money not going to other things. Like the reason we don't have universal healthcare is like, oh, the trans will use it, oh, the blacks will use it, and we'll be welfare queens or deadbeat dads. Oh, like, and all these different things are used as ways to pull off more and more people from supporting things that would help multiple people. And that's, again, why abortion is about to be not just reduced, but eradicated across the country. And they're going to continue, like, again, like we brought up in one of our other videos, there are at least 300 different laws coming on the books this year or before, like, state legislatures trying to get rid of trans and overall LGBT rights. And that's going to affect women, that's going to affect black people. And just because it's not affecting us now doesn't mean it won't, because we've made it easier to hit all of us when we allow to hit these few right here.
Yeah.
So let's look at the other. Let's look at the other side of the coin, though. So we're talking about transgender woman. So therefore, a woman that identifies. A man that identifies as a woman. But what about a woman that identifies as a man being thrown into the women prison? Y'all don't think they're gonna beat that pussy up?
They could also be in danger too, but that's another reason why you have to reform prison overall.
Point. It's just as dangerous.
That makes my whole point. That makes my point.
No, your point is still transphobic.
I can't hear. I can't. What happened?
Like a trans person that identifies.
No, I was saying that from my understanding, they usually have, like, in the men's prison, like a section for them to make sure.
So why wouldn't that's my point. Why wouldn't you protect the man that identifies as a woman the exact same way?
Because some people feel that's not what they are.
If they're identifying as a woman, they need to go to the women's jail.
I feel like is a two-sided sword here. Because you can't say that you want to identify as a man, and when they treat you like a man, you have a problem with it. You can't say you want to identify as a woman, and when they treat you like a woman, you have a problem with it. So it's a double-edged sword.
Well, I feel like
you're going to be a man or you're going to be a woman.
Well,
and it is a dangerous situation. But people that are aware of these situations, you have to be aware of what you're getting into. And so many people are aware, which is so many reasons why so many people don't live in their truth.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but that also goes back to we don't make, like you said, prisons are made for money. They're not made for people's safety, and like we're conditioned to believe that people should be punished with violence in prison. But like I've brought up before, in different countries, prisoners get their own rooms, their own showers, their own like things to feel like human beings and safe, and they get conjugal visits if they want, and there's still a connection to community. Our prisons aren't set up like that way because our prisons are set up for capitalism and like basically prison labor and slavery. And so they don't care what happens to you.
I do feel like the way that they treat people in prisons is ridiculous. Like you can't dehumanize people because they committed a crime. I feel like some of that is dehumanizing, and it's not okay.
Oh yeah. And it makes people more violent to be dehumanized.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear these prison stories about people killing people or stealing from people or doing what they need to do to survive.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. So let's go. Yeah. I'm sorry, my whole brain just said. All right, so let's break real quick.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. Since 2008, Tiffany's Creative Crystals has been making handmade earrings, necklaces, and bracelets. They do custom order and special requests depending on availability, and also repairs to jewelry depending on what is needed to be fixed. Shop with Tiffany's Creative Crystals.
All right, you guys, it is time for our promotions. So I'm going to let our guests go first.
As she mentioned earlier, I am the host of Closed Door Conversations podcast, but I also am the owner of operator of A-Ze Kreations, where I specialize in all things customization items. I do rolling trays, I do jewelry, I do drinkware like tumblers and glasses, and we also have a kinky corner where we sell adult toys. So yes, we do it all. That's why I'm A-Z. And we also have a 360 photo booth experience coming up soon. I'm working on those contracts now. So I can be found on Facebook and on Instagram at A-Ze Kreations. Kreations is spelled with a K. Kreations. My website is www.a-z creationswithak.com.
All right. So if you guys don't know, that is where I got my rolling tray set from. Yay! That I am still messing with, honey. Still messing with it. I love it. It's awesome. But so I want to promote a fundraiser that I'm doing with Erica's Lighthouse. It is for teenage depression, and I am walking Ren Pet for 20 miles in 30 days. So, well, in the month of May, technically. So, I'm going to be walking, and she has her cute little bandana, and I have a little thing where I can just like scratch off how long I've been walking. So if you guys want to donate to that, I will put a link in the description below. Hello, everyone. I'm here to promote Boxy, a home decor subscription service that ships beautiful items to your home once a month. If you hate going to the store and not being able to decide on what to get out of all the choices, then this is definitely the subscription box for you. Use my code 10 off Queen Pedii. That's also linked below in the description box to get $10 off of your box. Next, I want to promote my book, A Puppy Journey, Renped's World. It is about my emotional support animal and how she saw the world through her eyes as she was growing up. You can purchase it on Amazon for Kindle. Last, I want to promote my blog, Queen Pedii Writes. You can find articles, craft videos, reviews, and more.
Well, guys, I'm doing something a little different today. So you already know I work with mutual aid groups like East Village Mutual Aid, and today while we were setting up, there was actually a standoff between them and the police to protect the community that was living just right over there. There was at least 3 tents. This whole week I was bringing them food, but as you can see, they're not there any longer because they grabbed their tents, they grabbed their blankets, they tossed them out because they don't give a fuck. This is our city's policy for how to deal with homelessness instead of, providing homes. So as you can see, these are some of the things that they put up. Stop killing homeless people. All this, if you're tired of seeing people basically being dehumanized like we were talking about in our last topic and treated like less than because they don't have homes, do what you can. The link is going to be below. Donate where you can. And also, I do also have my Cashapp that will probably be below because when they finally are somewhere back in the area that I could find, I probably won't be able to bring meals today. I'll be providing them meals, and if you have suggestions of different recipes I should cook, you can hit that up in the Discord too or in the comments below. But thanks, and let's do something, all right?
So your boy Samurai coming to you again, visually in focus, is still looking for models. So definitely go ahead and hop into Instagram, which the link is in the description. Hit us up if you're a model, aspiring model, or a brand ambassador, and we'll definitely work with you and talk details. Also, me as an artist, if you go to the TikTok, I do got some new content coming out very soon. So definitely check it out.
Hello, everyone. I'm the owner of AwesomeAbility.clothing. Right now, we're still looking for 3 models for my fashion show that I would like to join. Well, for New York Fashion Week in September. If anything, you guys could hit the link or hit me up on Instagram at AwesomeAbility.clothing. Right now, I am looking for women with sizes between medium and large. I'm also working on extra large plus models clothing as well. If anything, you can just message me on Instagram.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to our guests for coming on our show. Thank you so much, Mil. I totally appreciate it, and you will be back, honey. Oh, you will be back. I hope so.
Thank you guys for having me. I enjoyed you guys. I truly enjoyed you guys.
We definitely.
We have fun having you on.
Yeah.
Anytime. And I'm actually going to have you guys on my show as well.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Come on over to the closed door conversations, baby, where no topic is off limit. Not for the verbally sensitive, all the way 100.
I love it.
All right, you guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Also, join our Discord. Join our Twitch for the after show on Fridays at 9 p.m. after our episode to hear more secrets and more hilarious stories from the cast. Subscribe, you guys. All right. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
This is not your normal possession.